We weren't in hiding. We're back.
Yeah,
Promise. I'm Jared, by the way.
I am Josh.
Just in
Good to be
case
here,
you don't
brother.
know.
That's right.
Never.
If you haven't been here before.
This might be somebody's first time.
That's
You
right.
never know.
That's right.
But man, didn't go in hiding after the Georgia game. I wanted to, but I didn't. And then the Falcons game after that, I was like, just couldn't get any worse. But then you had the Saints lose the way they did. Then you realize there is still good in the world. There's good things that can happen. So keep that in mind, kids.
I've been totally out of all the loops. I did watch Minnesota and New Orleans. That was cool.
Yeah, we do know who's going to be in the Super Bowl as of record. We were waiting to see if that game wrapped up, and the Eagles basically put it out of reach. So we know it's going to be the New England and Philadelphia Super Bowl.
Yeah, again.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, it's not that it was that. It was a pretty long while ago, but it is what it is.
And it's in Minnesota. Could you think of a least desirable Super Bowl to go to?
It's good because it keeps the Falcons on track to be the first team to host, and I really do want that.
Yep, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, man, it's we talked about it, man. It's if the trend continues and the ratings are down for the Super Bowl like they've been down for everything, isn't again like down Super Bowl ratings is like talking about positive ratings for the college football final.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, better than crap is still pretty crappy.
Yeah.
And it's the complete opposite for the Super Bowl. Bad Super Bowl ratings are still anything else would kill for that.
Yeah.
So it's no problem. But if they do take a downtick, don't worry. It's not going to be oversaturation with Tom Brady. It's Kaepernick's fault.
Yeah,
It's Colin
he
Kaepernick's
caused all
fault.
this-
Absolutely. It's going to be on him.
Caused all this mess. So, well, and it's not to say that anything's wrong with Minnesota. It's just like at this time of year, and that's the other thing that we had to deal with down here is all the snow and stuff. It just don't work well in the snow and cold weather. So I just forget it.
Yes. One of the strange differences between pro ball and college ball, where all the big time bowl games are literally scheduled for the season. Where in the NFL, I mean, it's 30 billionaires, and they're like, I don't care that my team is in Minneapolis. I built a new stadium. You come in here. And I just think that's interesting that, like, the cloud of the money in that league, of the individuals in that league, is very, very interesting. Like, oh, no, we don't care about that. Well, we had a Super Bowl in Atlanta, and the roads were icy. Yeah, okay, so then you go to New York and play outside. Genius move, and now you're going to go to Minnesota, which is cool. At least they're indoors, which I have heard people say for a long time now. They think that all NFL stadiums should be indoors, and I bet they're onto something. I bet if the league survives, they'll do that.
How advanced it is with the turf now, and it's not just like playing on cement carpet. Why not do it?
Yeah, turf's better than grass now. That stuff is awesome, and it's cheap too because you don't have to keep it alive.
Yep. Don't have to worry about any grounds crew and deflating the balls or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that actually is kind of the part of it as far as everybody playing inside, man. I mean, it stinks because the elements are fun, but it's such every sport is so equipment oriented now, man. And we like to throw the ball all the time, man. That oh my God, if it's a rain cloud, we have to run now. It's boring. So you basically have all the positives of the arena league, in that your conditions are set and you can throw and everybody can run the offense they want to run. And we've talked about it with like if there's an expansion to the college football playoff and you actually have to make road visits to Madison, Wisconsin, to Columbus, Ohio, to Ann Arbor, Michigan, you're not going to like those trips because those stadiums are open, but it will absolutely push for the need to, no, this isn't right. It's professional football's highest honor, and we just need the parameters to be the same. It's silly to have Tom Brady inside a dome because he can just kill people and pick them apart. You forget that he plays outside all the time. But y'all, whoever in that scenario, whoever built the dome, that's your fault. They play outside.
As good as Jacksonville played today, you just kind of had that feeling like you just don't go into Gillette this time of year and win. It's just on top of the stuff being stacked against you.
Yeah, the Florida playoff curse is real. You're absolutely right about that, man. But I did love, one of my favorite things is them, filleting, Brady on camera like they always do. over how great he's
Tommy.
doing, and he doesn't have Gronk. Gronk's not out there, and we're like laughing.
Did
We were
him a favor.
discussing. It's like that was the entire season last year, and they got a ring. I think they're okay. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man, stop acting like this dude is heaven sent. And it stinks, but I just got to get my opinion out there, and it drives me crazy because I asked this of people that love Gronkowski. It's the exact same question I've asked of all of you guys that have been around for a while when we were doing Mayweather and McGregor. If Rob Gronkowski was not a white kid, what would you think of him?
Run of the mill player.
Oh, no. If he acted the way he acts, but he's
Oh.
not a white kid.
Uh,
There's a word that begins with a T that people would use to describe him all the time. As much as he likes to talk, as much as he likes to put his face out there and, sell himself, brand himself. Four-letter word begins with T. I'll let you guys figure out what it is. It's a four-letter word that begins with T. It is code for another word that begins with N. And it drives me nuts because that stuff like that happens all the time. Like Johnny Manziel was a cutie pie with all that stuff, man. Get out of here. I can't stand it. Stuff like that makes me crazy.
that was like that club promo on Raw a few Mondays ago where it kind of caught everybody's attention. Was like, what? What are you talking about?
I missed that one, man.
It was the club is reforming with Finn Balor. Jason Jordan's in the ring, and it's Finn Balor. He's like, what's that word that we call you? In the back. It starts with an N, and it's building towards the Luke Gallows nerd. But just to hear that coming out, who let that get by?
Yeah, we wrote that one.
What?
We really wrote that one.
Oh, my
All right.
God.
Good job, guys.
But it's just one of those kind of promos you hear like, did I just hear that?
Please point out that it's got 4 letters in it. And I only say
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
because I get edgy, but that's weak.
Yeah,
That's incredibly
yeah.
week.
It's sad. It's sad week. That was pretty sad. week.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Is like, okay.
But yeah, we were talking about Royal Rumble predictions earlier.
Yeah. Jason Jordan. Speaking of Jason Jordan,
Right, that's not. I mean, I guess the problem with Royal Rumble predictions this time of year is everything's kind of is backlogged. Was like, could they pick a worse time to do the mixed match challenge? Why not do that in the summer when there's not as much going on, but when you're building up to the Rumble, building up to the 25th anniversary of Raw, building up to WrestleMania, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Like the
Why?
January Royal Rumble into March, early April WrestleMania run. It's like that part of the calendar is clogged, buddy. What were you thinking?
Why now?
Why? I don't get it.
And-
I think it'd be grete to do that after WrestleMania. Everybody builds
Yeah.
to WrestleMania, and then the tag team tournament
It's kind
after
of a little bit of a lull.
WrestleMania to give people some, time off is not the great way to say it, but it's like with the World's Strongest Tag League in Japan, man. If the superstars are in that, they get half the night off. They're in tag matches. That'd be great. Do it after WrestleMania.
And I thought that they had done that like the Mae Young Classic. I thought it was all filmed in the can and just going to be shown. They do it like live. I guess it's after SmackDown, before 205 or something like that.
Good God, how long do those people have to be in the building?
So yeah, it's
rough,
a
man.
commitment to go see SmackDown.
really, seriously.
They punish you for watching the big show.
You still think Raw's not as good? 9 hours later, we'll ask you again.
I don't remember how exactly the brackets are set up. I know the other dude on YouTube, What Hoods TV, shout out to him, did his bracket breakdown. But basically what it looked like to me is it's all on one side. Everything is kind of set up to where the final, to me, looks like it's definitely going to be Braun and Alexa versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte. And I got Bobby Roode and Charlotte winning. I don't remember all the matches that got me there, but I think that's what they're building towards. A lot of people have Alexa and Braun winning strictly for the fact that they're playing for the Connor's Cure charity. But if they win, isn't it kind of like WWE giving themselves money, essentially? So, and I don't know if it's even actual money that gets donated, but that's beside the point. I think they're building up to Charlotte and Bobby Roode winning just because they put Charlotte and Bobby Roode together, and it's gone over so well. They've done a few promos and that's the neat thing about the mixed match challenge is all of like the little videos are shot on like iPhones like this, and everything that they've shot with Bobby Roode and Charlotte, it's like putting on each other's robes and crap. It just looks like they're just saying, "Well, y'all just screw and get it over with," just because, it's a little bit hammy. But I think that's what they're building towards is them winning, and I'm cool with that because I like both of those people.
The only thing I really know about the mixed match challenge is that we talked about it, man. Half the teams I just think are great. Like the pairings are really fun and really cool, and like you're talking with like the phone stuff. I'm glad WWE's embracing that more because God knows if you don't know by now, okay, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Don't write stuff down. Just let people do it. It's so much. Zack Ryder tried to tell you this years ago. It sounded like a thinly veiled. It sounded like a thinly veiled Bullet Club reference. It was not. It's a Zack Ryder reference. He told you years ago that's how you should do it, and you didn't listen to him. Whatever. But I'm glad they're having a good time with it. I thought that the Sami Zayn, Becky Lynch stuff was great because I love both of them. I saw this awesome picture of Nakamura and Natalie Neidhart where they're both wearing the old Hart Foundation fringe jackets, which it was sweet. That's all I saw was just a still picture of that. I don't know any of the results and whatnot, but I'm with you.
That's the only match that's happened so far. You had Natalia, Nakamura, and Sasha and Finn, and Sasha and Finn advanced last Monday. I think the next match is... I'm pretty sure it's The Miz and Asuka versus whoever they're facing. I don't remember. I know Elias and Bailey are a team. Becky Lynch and Sami Zayn are a team. And Alexa and Braun and Charlotte and Bobby Roode, if I'm forgetting. The couple, Naomi and the other Uso are a team. And Asuka and Rusev are a team. That's Lana and Rusev.
I knew
team.
what you meant, man.
I think that's everybody. I'm fairly certain. And so, but it's just and they have them all set up in this one bracket. But it just everything I looked at just looked like, man, they're building towards. That's the final that they want.
Yeah, I can see that being the final.
Alexa, Braun, Charlotte, Bobby Roode. And I got Charlotte and Bobby Roode winning. Just,
I can dig it.
Yeah,
I love them.
If nothing else, bragging rights, brother.
I love them as a tag team. I think that's pretty. That was one of the pairings I really thought was cool. So I'm okay with that. That's cool with me, man.
As far as the matches at the Royal Rumble go, who cares? What everybody is wanting to predict who's going to win the matches, and so first, what I'm looking forward to the most probably is the women's Royal Rumble, just because it's a first, and I'm glad that they're actually doing actual Royal Rumble rules. Where I was afraid it was going to be like the old women's battle royal rules,
just a battle royal where everybody's in there.
Well, I thought it was going to be you didn't have to go over the top rope to be eliminated, because I remember battle royals with women back in the day. It was like just falling out of the ring, you're eliminated. But it's going to straight up be over the top rope.
Good, because you can do so much more fun, like under the rope and like sneaky stuff. That's cool. That's much better.
So that's the when they announced the rules. That's what I was like. Well, good. At least they got that going for them. But as far as who's going to win, everybody's got Asuka picked. I don't think she's going to be in it. Some people have tried to put the title on her at the 25th anniversary of Raw. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. I just think that she'll be attacked by Nia before she can even get to the ring or before the match even starts, and that's how you get her out. Because if you're not going to have her win, why put her in it?
Yeah, remind me to mention that in a moment because it works better with building up.
So, but if the women's Royal Rumble match isn't headlining the show, I have Nia Jax winning. If the women's Royal Rumble match is the main event, then I have Ronda Rousey winning. Nothing official that she's going to be in it yet, but I think if that's the image that they want to close the show with, is if it's the main event and she wins, and the confetti falls and the WrestleMania sign explodes.
Yeah. I can totally see that. The one thing that I will be very interested to see in that will be if they've calculated Philly into it or not.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I think that being a starting match for Ronda's fine because Battle Royals you don't have to know a ton of stuff, so that'll be cool. But I'm totally with you. If they're first, I'll have to wait and see because I really don't know. But yeah, if they go on last, I think they have to book her to win. And it's not that it's not a good idea. Just do what you want to. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's totally cool. And as far as exposure goes, I mean, it is the best thing they could possibly do for the division. That's cool, man.
So, I mean, and it's still open for Ronda to win and still challenge Charlotte. So it wouldn't necessarily, if they put the belt on Asuka at the 25th anniversary of Raw, it still leaves it open for Nia and Asuka to still have a match. So there's still a little bit more room to play with, and I think the 4 horsewomen match. That's probably not going to happen. At least not at Mania.
That's fine, man. Because
I'd be cool with it if they want to do it, but
if you're not ready for it, you ain't ready for it. You can do it down the line. That's okay. But I don't like the idea of all 4 of them getting buried at the same time. It's been a pretty rough go for the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. I'm with you. I think that. If you're doing Ronda at WrestleMania, it's got to be Asuka or Charlotte. I think you're right. I think it has to be Charlotte. Has to be, mainly because she's a better worker is hard to say because Asuka's pretty damn good. But Charlotte, it's just for what Asuka does. It's hard to get people to pull those things. It just is. So it's like if you've got Ronda, who's probably there's no chance Ronda Rousey's not going to be stiff-ski. I mean, she's brand new to this, so. With such a professional like Charlotte, that's probably the way to go. Man, I hate the idea of booking the belt off Charlotte, but whatever. I mean, it's okay, and it probably will work much better. I think that's a good place to start. And like you said, the Royal Rumble's a good place to start, too, because whatever you can't do, you can mask the crap out of that, and all anybody cares about is that shot you described. So it doesn't matter. I mean, she might go out there and look great, but even if she doesn't, you don't care. Getting to the end is all you're trying to do there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they go first, have to wait and see.
And that's the other rumor that everybody's had floating around this week is, Daniel Bryan's winning the men's Royal Rumble. No, maybe not. The other rumor that's been coming up here, the later in the game it gets, is people have been saying Dolph Ziggler. It's like, I think that's wishful thinking.
I think that I don't know if I would go so far as to call it wishful thinking. I think it might be people trying to be a little too cute. And a little too smart. Just because I think Ziggler's the man, but just listen.
So now they're going to let him win.
Just let him go. Yeah. I mean, this is
why
stupid.
Now?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, honestly, to be blunt, I think to be really honest with you, I think the reason, it's going to sound crazy, but I think that ultimately, if Ziggler is the plan, I think it's actually a long-term booking, which is pretty smart, because the idea will be Dolph Ziggler wrestles whoever. Probably, I'm assuming they would throw him in there for Raw because I think he's still on Raw, isn't he? Or is he a SmackDown guy?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean, either.
It was on SmackDown the last because he was doing the entrances, and it was SmackDown. I'm
Just
sure.
cut him off. Yeah, I remember that. I really don't know what they're going to do there. I don't think anybody will care about AJ Styles versus Ziggler. They've already tried it. I don't think they'd be into that. He might win it earlier than that. I'm really not certain.
Winning the Royal Rumble is always a good way to have a guy switch shows if they want to.
You could do that. I'm just not certain. Part of me just has this weird thing, and it's such a weird feeling. But I just think that they invested so much in Ziggler Miz that I think Miz winning that world title for the SmackDown show is where they're headed. So I'm wondering if Ziggler doesn't get it before then. Miz wins the Royal Rumble. Ziggler gets it before then. He jumps ship and becomes a world champ just because they love him so unbelievably much. I don't get it. I'm never going to get it. I will admit it to you. But what you will get, what we will all get if Ziggler is the champ, is a good match because they really know each other. So that would be, it's just, we're on my problem with Ziggler, or with Miz. the guy does not have good matches. I don't like his stuff. I could tell you one guy he's had good matches with, and that is Dolph Ziggler. So cool. Hey, if we're gonna do it, at least
do it that way.
at least put it on somebody that's worth the darn, or as far as can put on good matches. I'm still with you. I still don't know. I think that Roman Reigns is way too on the nose. The best thing they could possibly do is you're in Philadelphia. Bryan Danielson comes out, eliminates Reigns last. Everybody can have their moment of ecstasy and ejaculation, and then they can just shut the hell up about it forever.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how you would go about the title thing. Oh man, Bryan Danielson and AJ Styles. Yeah, Bryan Danielson hadn't worked in 3 years. That's going to be great. Nah, whatever. I do love that idea though. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, well, it's the best ending you could possibly come up with. And it would make sense as to why you booked Philly again so soon after just having been there.
Yeah. Do you have Daniel Bryan win and then just forfeit the opportunity? Or,
I just don't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
No, I think it's kind of like we were talking about with Rousey, man. The ending of a Ronda Rousey winning the Royal Rumble is kind of great, and then you can go wherever you want to. And if he wants to go after Styles or Miz, or cause see, that's another thing about the whole Miz thing. Is if Miz wins the Royal Rumble and you're bringing Bryan Danielson back, Jesus Christ, you've needed to pay that crap off for years.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. I'm spitballing and trying to think of people that would be a good win.
My guy I keep going back to is probably Nakamura.
Shinsuke's okay. The one thing about Shinsuke
That's
is
if it was me doing it, and that's who would do it.
I can dig it.
I've thought that before.
Yeah, Shinsuke is cool. The biggest knock I've heard on Shinsuke is that Vince is 1,000,000% not going to do Styles versus Nakamura, and it's because everybody wants to see it.
Okay.
So I'd hope not, but that's and it's not like
Wouldn't be the first time.
well, yeah, oh no kidding. And that's kind of where it's coming from, where everybody's still obsessing over he thinks Finn Balor's not over enough to wrestle Brock Lesnar. That's fake. Whenever they talk about that stuff and Vince constantly says something over and over again, it's a storyline.
Yeah.
Have you once read the quote that he's got no interest in Styles and Nakamura? Not from him, but it just keeps coming up.
It filters out. It gets that one way or the
It
other.
just keeps coming up. But then with that whole thing, well, he doesn't want to promote New Japan by having two of their former stars at a main event. Okay, but you're going to put AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson in a championship match. You do know what company they both used to work for, right? I mean, it's like, come on, that doesn't work. But it's messed up because I haven't seen it in so long. I'm really just kind of...
To try to imply certain logic, to some of the decisions that get made, it just doesn't work because it contradicts them. They contradict themselves left and right.
It's true. It is one of those things with having no foresight whatsoever. Because even if they had it, they would back out of it because, gotcha. Ho, it's live TV, guys. Didn't know that was happening.
Bro. You gotta want to swerve, bro.
Yeah, it's much more important to do something. We talked about it. Like the best example ever was the, God, who was it, man? Who'd they pull out? It was Christian and Edge were supposed to be doing the thing, and they wound up yanking it and changing it around, and it was just pathetic. And they switched it over because like somebody on the internet had hatched the theory. And they changed it up, and it was like, this is freaking stupid, man. So it was just, I wish I remember what it was now, man. But anyhow, I'm with you on the show itself, because we're Royal Rumble dorks anyway. I know we both really dig that show. And now two Royal Rumbles is even better. Like, all right, this ought to be good.
But two Royal Rumbles, so we're expecting kind of a lengthy show. Maybe the other matches will get kind of cut. I kind of wondered, like, maybe are they waiting late in the game to announce this might be the first year there's a women's elimination chamber? That's what's next. I'm pretty sure it's a Raw pay-per-view, and I just thought, well, maybe that's something they could do. If a SmackDown woman wins the women's Royal Rumble, is have a Raw ladies elimination chamber match.
I like the idea of there being the first ever women's elimination chamber, because you then have the prospect for the historical event that the first time women are in the elimination chamber is worth watching.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you've had, when Bray won the title last year, it was enjoyable, but I thought it was enjoyable because I love the result.
Still get Ellsworth in there.
Yeah, we'll make it work somehow.
Well, that's the other point that I don't mean to. I'll go back. Is the one dumb entrant of the women's Royal Rumble is why put Carmella in there? She already has the Money in the Bank. But why put her in there in the first place? Anyway, I just
So that when she wins the Royal Rumble and challenges for the belt and gets beat, she like throws the briefcase in 2 out of 3 falls, chica. I think that's awesome. Yeah. I'm never gonna lose. It's just stockpile #1 contender matches. Just keep cashing them in.
Yeah. So I just that was and I get to thinking of so as far as we know now, there's like 18 ladies gonna be in it. And everybody's been talking about and rumoring around who could possibly come back.
Lita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't she pretty much wasn't she Paige just a few years ago? Whereas they basically wouldn't clear her either.
Don't work anymore.
So it's going to be kind of fun to see who comes back and who doesn't. I think one of the cool throwback returns that they could probably do that somebody's going to see coming is do Awesome Kong. You got the Glow Netflix movie going on. You got her run that never really took off, and that's what she was known for, as being one of the other women to be in the men's Royal Rumble in the first place. And I'm not saying she's going to come out and win it, but have her come out and be one of the surprise entrants in that. But anyway, Women's Elimination Chamber. What would you about to say about that?
No, just that, I've never seen an Elimination Chamber match that I liked. So, hey, there's got to be one eventually that's good. Why not this one? Let's keep trying. Just try different stuff, and sometime it's going to work, man.
Throw some stuff on the wall and spin the stick one of these days.
Yeah. The only first ever women's match I don't want to see is I don't want to see. I'll speak on behalf of all humanity. The only first women's match we don't want to see is Punjabi Prison, because we don't ever want to see anybody in that ever again. No. For real. So that one's out. No. But yeah, the idea of getting an Elimination Chamber match that's actually worth a darn, I'm all about. That's
just it feels like it's something that I haven't heard anybody mention as even a possibility. That why not?
I think it's cool, and I hope it goes on last, like we talked about, man. I thought our Clash of the Champions pay-per-view was brilliant. I loved that. I'm still very pleased with that. But at the same time, also, like you're talking about, if you're going to have... I'm just a dork for unified champions. I don't know why. I just think it's cool, and I want 2 belts. I want her to come out with both of them. But if we have Alexa Bliss go over at Clash of the Champions, then you would have to get the belt off of her between now and WrestleMania. But we're talking about that anyway, like either with Nia winning it, or just if Ronda's going for the title at WrestleMania, it cannot be on Alexa Bliss. I understand that because Alexa would make a lot more sense to basically pick up the pieces. Whoever Ronda does eventually lose to, which I think that'd be cool if they just left Carmella in the weeds for that. I mean, how, people would scream and lose their minds if Asuka beats Ronda Rousey for the title, and then that's who comes and cashes in and wins it, so that you literally have like Miss Unbeatable Ronda Rousey lose the title, and then literally Miss Unbeatable lose the streak within 2 minutes. It'd be memorable if nothing else.
Yeah. Possibility.
It's not a bad idea. It just seems like Carmella's getting Zigglered, and it's like, okay, Carmella, I want you to keep that briefcase through 4 more pay-per-views. Now, that would be awesome. Yeah. Dude, what if she holds on to it, and then they go to the next Money in the Bank, and she wins again, so then she's got 2 of them now. I feel bad. I hate that. I actually hate that suggestion as far as her having to travel with them. But the idea of just collecting them, we mentioned it a second ago, and I thought we were joking. Now I'm serious. I think it'd be awesome if she just stockpiles #1 contendership. I won the Royal Rumble. I can't lose at Money in the Bank. That's 3 already. I think that'd be hilarious, man.
I'm never cashing in.
I'm never cashing in. It's never going to be over. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to keep one of these for after I win the championship. Then I'll cash it in against myself and have a draw. First successful title defense is draw against me.
Ellsworth told me this was the title.
For real. Wait a minute now. That would be awesome.
He lied to me.
She starts collecting Money in the Bank briefcases and just puts these crappy little pieces of leather off the side of them so you can strap them around your waist. This is a championship belt, jerk.
Make a big cat necklace.
That's for real. That'd be awesome. That's what you can do. Because Big Cass is doing nothing, correct? Why don't you bring him back to be her valet? And he's just this big, huge, tall guy that can walk around with an armful of briefcases. That'd be awesome. He's just, that's kind of cool. It's better than what he's doing now.
Sitting at home.
Ugh.
That's, somebody's hurt, so it's not funny, but
It's not. And the injury.
the role reversal that everybody thought
The injury's not
was
really
going to go the other way.
The injury's not really what we're talking about. It's it's what you're going into right now. But the thing that drives me nuts about that is, yes, Vince loves big, tall guys. He does. Do you honestly think that anybody not named Vince McMahon thought that Big Cass was going to be a bigger deal than Enzo? Look, Vince has raised 3 generations of wrestling fans now to believe that this is the only thing that matters. I reference you back to The Miz, Rolling Stone Wrestler of the Year, The Miz, who cannot work. He can talk.
Yeah.
So that being the case, you really thought that Tall and MeUndies was going to trump that guy on the stick? Come on. I can't believe anybody is surprised by that. Of course Enzo's the success.
It's still that, backwards logic that gets done with the WWE when you obviously have the guy sitting right in front of you. Like, no, we want the big one, though.
But that's my guy. You're totally right. It's what you've talked about before about being over and being chosen. That's totally what it is. If you're Vince's guy, push. Ask Test.
Yep.
Ask God, here's another really good example. That just shot out my head. Billy Gunn, God. But you know what? That's really not fair, though.
Ryan.
It's really not fair because Billy, the Outlaws were so much fun that it's not like the New Age Outlaws remind me.
There was that time period after they broke up, we're just kind of like, what is going on with this guy?
He was Kofi Kingston without the talent. Because
Yeah.
Kofi was always fun. It's just like there was never anything for him, and then he landed in New Day, and now it's great. But we talked many times before that Kofi Kingston CM Punk was probably my favorite CM Punk stuff. And I'm not a huge fan of Punk's WWE stuff. It just didn't do it for me because, again, it's just this.
Yeah.
He had great matches. Didn't you see the match against John Cena? Yes, I've seen it. I did not like it. It's not my thing. It didn't do it for me. And he has had some unbelievable matches. Just I didn't like his WWE stuff. The Rey Mysterio stuff was real good. I did like that a lot. Yeah. But yeah, him and Kofi was freaking awesome. I did like that.
Heck yeah.
That's somebody. Serena Deeb is somebody I saw that might be coming back.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
That's
Like, oh, good, because I always liked her, man. I don't know if it's like a Royal Rumble return or if it was just like a Performance Center thing. It was just, she might be coming back. And I'm like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Either way.
Yeah, it's like, heck yeah, man.
I think she got one of those kind of raw deals.
Raw deal.
So, yeah. Either way it goes. I mean, why not?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I've heard rumors about, Kelly and Ivory and
Ivory.
Ivory, I mean that would
Ivory'd be
make
cool.
sense.
As long as you can work, I'm down with people coming back that want to come back, man. Victoria, I've actually heard a couple of people talk about that, which would be killer. Molly Holly's one I heard, just a rumor that she might be coming back for the Rumble, which would be a lot of fun. Kind of like we were talking about with Ronda. Like, if you ain't done it in years and you can't go anymore, who cares? It's a battle royal. It's fun for you.
Yeah.
But if she can still go, because let me tell you, man, Molly Holly is probably the most underrated performer of that whole clutch of women's wrestlers that weren't named Trish Stratus. There's a lot of them that really just got overlooked, and we, Molly and Victoria, I know we're both huge fans of them, man. Who am I forgetting?
Well, we've already mentioned Alita was in that time period.
Yeah, absolutely. Lita's a freak, just one off. I can't. There's somebody else that I should really be thinking of, and hopefully it'll come to me before the show's over. And I always sound like I'm dissing Trish when I say this. Jared knows it's not a knock on Trish. Trish was the biggest one for a reason. It's kind of like Trish was like LeBron. LeBron's LeBron.
Yeah.
There's tons of other guys that are fun to watch too. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is, man. Crap! I thought it was gonna come back to me, but it didn't.
Man.
Now I've got Ivory stuck in my head when she was in Right to Censor. So I'm like, man, I just keep thinking, she dressed kind of like a schoolgirl, and like the white. She's like, no, wait, that was Ivory. That's not somebody different.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be another thing that I think is going to make the women's Royal Rumble match more fun too. You have a lot more room for people to come back. I mean, in the men's match, there's not many spots to bring guys back if you're going to do it at all.
So many people have that annual thing where it's like, I'll be back in January, like CM Punk. And so it's like, you're right. I mean, it's like you've got lots of places you can go, and genuine surprises. Be cool if Beth Phoenix was in it, just because that was so awesome when it really happened.
Possibility. Yeah. have her be in both of them.
Oh, that would be awesome,
Yeah.
man. I still believe. I know we just talked about Cass and Enzo, but I still believe, honest to God, that our idea for how they should have started the Royal Rumble last year was the funniest thing, and I wish they would have done it. Our idea, I think we might have talked about it on here, but if not, our idea was, I think Cass was number one, or at least in our world it was.
Enzo comes out and does the rap.
Big Cass is number one, and Enzo comes down and does the whole thing and all that stuff, and it's all good, and it's fantastic, and he leaves him and walks all the way back up the ramp, and music for entrant number 2 hits, and it's the song over again, and Enzo comes back out and does the whole thing all over again, and by the time he's done the second time, the third guy's coming down, and they beat the crap out of whoever it is. Yeah. I really wish they'd done that. I think that would have been so funny, man.
That could have worked out.
Actually, I'll take it back. He didn't have to walk all the way back up the ramp. Now, I am thinking about the Mania ramp, but it'd be just awesome if he's just doing his thing and halfway up the ramp, the music starts and he just comes right back down and goes into it. I would have loved that.
Well,
we are fascinated by, as much as I don't care for talk, in-show talk is very useful. Like CM Punk at the Royal Rumbles,
that was hilarious. Yeah.
Kofi's my favorite stuff ever, but his stuff in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure we were in the house for that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing, and probably because I'm biased because we were there. But that was the funniest thing. God, that was such a good idea, and it's one of those neat
recruiting people for the Straight Edge Society during the match.
Yeah, it's like he eliminates everybody and gets time to talk, and then gets attacked again and knocks the guy out real quick and grabs the mic. Okay, before I was interrupted so rudely, let me get back into it. But that is such a cool way to put somebody over that's not going to win. You know, it's like they did it last year with Braun. Braun eliminated 900 people, and it's like, that's cool. That's exactly what you should do if you're not going to win. Awesome Kong coming back would be amazing, and boy, it would be an exclamation point for Nia Jax to eliminate her. Oh, yeah. So that's actually quite a cool thing that you could do there, and it'd be a neat little stare down too. That was something I read that Nia Jax has put in the word for Raw 25 for Bull Nakano to be there, and I hope that happens. I think that would be amazing.
That's tight. Because,
like, man, that would just be sharp, man.
Yeah.
Bull Nakano is, we've talked about it before, man. Like, large Nia Jax style lady wrestlers in Japan they're not run of the mill because there's no such thing. This is special. These are athletically special, genetically special people, but man, they get work there. And if I remember correctly, Dump Matsumoto was the name of the first woman that was like the one, and then Bull Nakano was like, Dump Matsumoto was Inoki, and Bull Nakano was Fujinami.
Okay.
But she had success here. I mean, she was WWE Ladies Champ for a while. Yeah. I mean, she was a big deal.
She was on Alundra Blaze's podcast not too long ago.
Yeah, it's weird. That was the picture actually on the article I saw. Was Alundra on the ground, like all tied up in this like submission hold, and Bull with her cool hair and her makeup, like it was awesome, man. So I would love if that happened. I don't know if she's working or not, but I think it was just like a tribute thing. Yeah. I'm like, God, that is a cool idea. But like as many former women's champs as you can get.
That's what the Raw 25 is going to be. Just a bunch of guys that can't work and will get kind of like, hey.
Absolutely, man. Come out and give us the Stu Hart at SummerSlam. Hey, it's wonderful. You beat up Larry Henningson for the United Championship. It's real good. Nice. Wait, megaphone?
My dad.
Hey, my dad. I couldn't beat up my dad. And then it's like Greg Gagne just pops out of nowhere and Stu just he just can't wait to beat up Vern Gagne's kid. Hey, get my hands on you, pipsqueak. David San Martino walks in, just he has this moment from Friday. You want some of this too? No. Turns right around and leaves.
No, my brother.
No, my brother. And this is a fantastic album. Let me borrow it. No, my brother. You don't have to buy your own. That's one of the greatest jokes in the history of mankind.
That's pretty much what's up. There's any more other topics that I'm forgetting?
The only thing I know I have to talk about is got to make it quick. I'll try to make it quick, guys. But for anybody watching the show that's an MLS fan, anybody that's watching, let me rephrase that. Anybody that might be watching that is an MLS fan but not necessarily an Atlanta United fan, this is your official invitation to either jump on the bandwagon or find something new to watch.
Raising the stakes.
What that team is doing this is different stuff. This is not human what they are doing. Going out and getting Darlington Nagbe is a big deal. Going and acquiring Darlington Nagbe in the MLS is basically like the Yankees being like, Giancarlo Stanton, we want that. Top guy in the league, you go get him, no problem. And Nagbe's great, so that's an awesome acquisition. But the fact that you can diminish getting Darlington Nagbe inside of a month because you pay $15 million for Ezekiel Barco is insanity. $15 million for anybody in MLS is nuts, but wait and see if they don't triple that money this time next year. And this is the thing I really want to talk about, because when I point out about them getting rid of him so quickly, people get frustrated. And I go back to them picking on the Marlins a lot tonight. Yeah. But I think people get very frustrated by the notion of Atlanta being this revolving door and you bring guys in and they go out and it's in and out constantly. That's the way the game is played. It is not like old school dynasties where you just put tons of guys together and they play together forever. It doesn't work that way, particularly when you consider that the European market is the market. But man, if you can be the wholesaler, if you can be the go-between, nobody on this side of the planet is doing that. Boca Juniors and River Plate in Argentina had the chance to do that. And man, they've sent tons of players over, no doubt about it. But the idea of coming to MLS and cutting your teeth, it's pretty brilliant, particularly when you consider that what we do in Atlanta is this. People constantly say Barcelona, and they're right, because Tata Martino was a Barcelona guy, so he knows the system, he knows the style. It's very attractive, which is the reason it blew up so much last year when people went like, I don't even know this game. This is amazing. Why do I like this so much? That's why. They spread them out. They run a bunch. You can see goals, but you score a lot. If you give up 3 and score 5, you still won. Yeah. And it's just a very fascinating and interesting thing. He seems to understand in a way that I wish the national team would get, that the culture of defense in any sport comes last. It comes last. Nobody goes out in their yard and plays defense first. If you have a football, you don't line up and tackle the football. You throw it around like you're the quarterback. Yeah. Everyone learns defense last. We're not there yet. I'm getting way afield. I'm sorry. I need a script for this crap, so I'll stop doing these meandering things. But the point being that the revolving door at Atlanta United for bringing in fantastic young talent and then shipping them to Europe is, first of all, single entity is a great thing. MLS has fought it for a long time because they wanted the NFL model of parity. Won't work in a growing league. You just can't do it. So single entity is the way to go. Arthur Blank was the first guy to see it. That's why he's so far out front, and it's the reason that you cannot believe the talent on that team right now. But the ultimate goal is not just to go to Argentina, bring in Barco players, and turn them over for big, big profits. It is to produce Barco-like players through your own academy. And that way, when you're selling them off then, you're getting all the profits. I mean, you'll never find an American kid as good as Ezekiel Barco, and maybe you won't. But Ajax in Amsterdam is the team that I always use as the example for what Atlanta's trying to do, because Barcelona is a great example. The difference being that when you play soccer for Barcelona, you don't leave to ascend. Any move from Barca is a lateral move. You know what I mean? It's like playing for the Dallas Cowboys, playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's as high as it gets. So if you play there, you ain't going nowhere but there. And you really don't leave unless you're Neymar, and they pretty much give you a quarter of Paris to go and play there. But it's, you know what I mean, like as far as pecking order, they are among the world elite. Nobody in MLS is world elite. But you can be MLS elite, and that's exactly what we should do. So be that team. But the one I always use is Ajax, because with that team, they absolutely run the Netherlands. But when it comes time to sell guys off, they sell their guys off. It's exactly what we should do. It's really cool, too, because I talk about Ajax all the time. People talk about Barcelona all the time, and they should. Tata did coach at Barcelona. But the reason Barcelona play the way they play is because Johan Cruyff, who was at Ajax, that built the system, then went to Barcelona and implemented it there. It's pretty cool. It's actually a really neat story how much overlap there is between those two. So the Barcelona system with the Ajax Youth Academy, 15 years from now, this is going to be the template. And people know now, and I think I've said it before, and I'll say it again now. It's one of my favorite conspiracy theories in football, or in sports, excuse me. The real reason that Jerry Jones got so sideways with Arthur Blank earlier this year is not to do with Roger Goodell. It's got to do with that little lapel pin that he wears on NFL air, by the way. It's got this on it right there. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to do that. And if Jerry had done in Jerry World with FC Dallas what Arthur has done with Atlanta, he'd be doing great. Yeah. And it's not like it hasn't occurred to him. It's just that to do it now, it's going to cost you a heck of a lot more money than it would have if you had done it when it was first suggested to you. That's what he's really angry about, is that Arthur has beaten him to the golden ticket. and now he wants that golden ticket, but he's got to pay aftermarket prices.
It's better at business.
He's got to go through StubHub to get it now, and that makes him. He's got to go through SeatGeek. He's got to go get his SeatGeek, and it's just like, hey, if I gotta pay his SeatGeek price for this dang don't golden ticket, dang, got a big old stadium.
Still want my bobblehead.
Yeah, seriously, man. My eyes are too far apart. But it's fascinating stuff. Like the business of what it seems like Atlanta United are trying to do is fascinating. And the reason I'm dorking out about it so much is the Ajax Netherlands model. Man, this guy used to work with this guy named Rob, and Rob liked soccer, and I like soccer, so we taught soccer. So we would always talk about the U.S.'s World Cup chances. This is, I mean, man, I'm talking 10 years ago we were having this conversation. It was about how I wish that people in this country would stop acting like a World Cup is our birthright, and even competing for one is something we should be doing right now. Because like I said, defense comes last, and that's how you win stuff, and you know that's how you win stuff. But considering you're talking about a league that you're trying to grow, entertainment's more important. It sounds crazy. It sounds completely contradictory to talk about how it's good for the NBA for the Warriors and the Cavaliers to be in the finals every year. But man, aren't people tired of the Patriots yet? It really sounds contradictory, but you got to understand those two markets are completely different because the NBA is a global market, the NFL is domestic and domestic only. And you can burn a domestic market out by offering them only two things. Especially this one. This is America, man. We're used to going into a convenience store and seeing 27 different varieties of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
If it's just Patriots all the time, blame Colin Kaepernick because he's the reason no one's going to watch the Super Bowl. Again, no one's going to watch the Super Bowl. It's just a joke. It's Colin's fault. Colin took a knee, so I'm not watching the Super Bowl till the third quarter when my bet comes up.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm going on way too long, as I always do. But what's happening in Atlanta with United on the field, the success? I mean, everybody's already written the season off. It's like they're going to win. So, and I pretty much think they're right. But it's what they're doing as far as advancing the league and really reshaping the league. It's a conversation I had with my cousin about Columbus because he's a Crew guy. And I loved Columbus Crew was my team before there was an Atlanta United. But they're very upset about that guy trying to get to Austin. And my frustration with the guy going to Austin is they don't even want you. Austin's not begging you to come. Texas already has two teams, which Texas is big. It's not like they've got two, they're covered. Then you could totally do it. But God, at least go somewhere that wants you. Mm-hmm. But the thing I was trying to explain to him is that, the definition of small market team is the Columbus Crew. And at one point in the MLS, it would have been fine because everybody was share alike. It's revenue sharing NFL stuff. They're not doing that anymore. So you are absolutely about to be a guppy. And if you don't want to be, if you're not going to support them now when they made the playoff and knocked us out of the playoffs, if you're not going now, what the heck are you going to do when they don't win? What are you going to do when they don't win? And they won't win because single-entity soccer, unfortunately, it is the way of the world. Predatory capitalism is the way that soccer works. It's the reason that one of three teams always wins all the trophies all the time. Yep. And I can't wait for it to happen here because it's going to be us. I'm very excited. Between Atlanta United taking over MLS and Mike Krzyzewski, who I should not like as much as I do being a Tech fan, going buck wild Keno in the prospects yesterday. Yep. The guy signed 4 of the top 10 and numbers 1, 2, and 3. Yep. Calipari's never even done that. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Basically, Coach K won who's got the biggest checkbook contest. But see, we joke about that stuff because we joked about Calipari doing it. Didn't bother me when Cal did it. It's the way the game is played. But I do love people that I know who are all SEC, all everything, all the time, now having a fit. Well, Krzyzewski's being dirty. That was how the game was played. It's still how the game is played. You're just having a hard time admitting it. It's too bad, isn't it? It's awesome. But anyway, you're good to let me babble about that junk because it's completely incoherent when I start talking about it. But the short story is I'm incredibly excited about the team. I think all of us are excited about because we've never had this in Atlanta. Atlanta has never been that team that stomped a league. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it. It's like even people, there are people that could not care less about soccer, might never even go to a United game. But if it puts a smile on their face that Atlanta's killing people at something, by God, I get it. As much crap as this town takes for its sports standing, I'm totally on your side. Like, yeah, man, by God, stick your chest out, man. Make them hear you. Say it loud, man. Yeah, for real, man. Man, we killed you in soccer. Not soccer? Nope. No. It's all good. It's like you celebrate anyway, dude. It's all right. You're in.
Man. That's what's up.
That is what's up, man.
We'll see y'all later.
Take it easy.